This is Cycle 2, Week 3, lesson for the mirror image drawing, ages 7 to 9. On the paper, we have the image of the bear face, and it's a geometric image. All the lines are straight. There's a lot of angles. Nothing's very natural or curvy about it, even though we're doing an animal. On the left, the image is completely done, and on the right, a little bit of the image is done to help the students begin and follow along. It can get a little bit challenging because of the complexity of the lines, so we're going to give them a good basis to go from and then let them fill it in from there. On the paper, I'm going to be using my a blue pen to show you where I'm drawing so that you can see it different from the black image around it. So you're going to have your picture either posted up on your whiteboard or drawn on with a whiteboard marker, whatever you prefer. And then you're going to grab your marker and begin with the students. They're going to have their printout of the same image in front of them on the table. So we can see that on both sides we want to do it the same way. So this line's already filled out. We can see that on the left, the ear goes up, angles over, and down. And we have that same shape over here. So we're going to have the students first look at the left and then copy it over on the right. I'm going to put my pen there. I'm going to begin by going up, over, and just following slowly on that line. And then down. Once you get to that point, you can ask the students what kind of line we have on the left. This one angles out slightly, and this one is going to do the same, but to the right. So I'll start on this dot here and angle out slowly to that dot. On the left, now it goes and angles in more to this point. So I'll do the same thing on this side and have the students follow along. I'll angle in down to that point. And of course, lastly, it goes all the way down to the center. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Now that we have this general outline, we're going to walk the students through filling in these other sections. And we want the students to be able to figure it out a little bit on their own. So let's ask some questions such as, what's the next line that we should draw? Probably they're going to say this one right here, but we have to do it on the other side to make a mirror image. So rather than angling down to the left, we'll start here and show them how to angle down to the right. Next, we have a lot of angled lines going on in here. We can see that they connect to all these points that we've already used a little bit. So that gives us a good starting point. If we find this joining point here and we go over to the other side, we can start by doing a dot there, and that's how we know how to connect the lines to that same area that's on the left. So now I can go up to this point here, and I see that it angles down, so I'll do the same thing on this side. Come down there. If we look on the left, we can ask the students, what's the next line that we see? And they're going to see that this line angles down to that point as well. So we can go on this side and angle down to that point. This last one angles from that point to the middle between this line. So if I go to this line on my side and I do a dot to find the middle, now I can know where to put that last line there. This is going to the same point as this line as to this, so we can show the students how we can connect from this part of the eye, down to that side. I'll just go ahead and correct that a little bit. Actually do that again so it's a little bit cleaner. We're all going to make mistakes as we do this, so it's nice to have an eraser handy. Now this point here at the top of the eye lines up almost with the side of the ear, and we want to do the same thing on the other side. So if I go to the side of the ear and I come down, I can make sure that both sides are going to be a mirror image by seeing where it lines up with. Now that I have this point, I can connect these two together like that. On this side, the point ends right here. So if I find where that is and use my finger to go all the way across, I can do that same point on this side. So this is teaching the students to be able to find the things on the left and use their fingers as well as just their eyes to do the same thing on the other side. So these are skills, whether you're drawing something that's a mirror image or something that's not. You can always correlate points to other areas on your same image. And now you can say, all right, what else do we need to do in our drawing? And we have the eye on the left. So now we need to do that same geometric shape on the right. We're going to start with a circle. And inside of our circle, we have another geometric shape, which is just another circle. But this time it is filled in. So it goes along with the oils concept of circles as well as filled in dots. All right. So we have the bear's eyes, his ears, and now let's move on to his nose. So ask the students what kind of shape is on the left. A triangle, which is a geometric shape, and we're going to do the same shape on the right. Go out the same length and then come down. And then we have a straight line on the left, and we're going to do a straight line on the right. So this is the bear's face. It's used all sorts of geometric shapes. And now they also get to fill in some of these spaces with geometric patterns. So on your whiteboard, you can make a list of different geometric shapes that they could use and have the kids brainstorm together. So things like triangles, squares, rectangles, diamonds, circles, things like that are all going to be on that list. And they're going to be doing the same pattern on the left as on the right. And whatever they choose to do. So they could just do some straight lines, as long as they're straight and not organic, that would be fine. So I'll go ahead and just fill in this side with some straight lines. And whatever I do on the left, I'm going to do on the right. So I'll do some straight lines over here as well. And maybe in this section, I want to do some dots. So I'll go ahead and make them circles since we're doing geometric shapes. I'm going to try and do this rather quickly. And since I have that on the left, I want to keep my mirror image a true mirror image, so I'll do the same thing on the right. And each student's going to have different patterns. Whatever they choose to do is up to them, and they can have it look very different from what their neighbor is doing. We want the students to leave this area around the eyes blank. That way it's a place of visual rest so that it's not overwhelming to look at, and that gives us a focal point where there's no pattern so we can focus on the eyes and not be overwhelmed by all the pattern going on everywhere. So they can go in and do patterns above the eyes here in these sections on either side, maybe some more geometric shapes inside of these other shapes, and just basically design it and make it as they want it to. And so allow them to do that. Once they're done with their geometric patterns and shapes inside of the bear's face, then they can use a black marker and just trace it to have a black and white image, all of those different designs. Or they can use colored pencils or markers to go ahead and color it in how they choose to.